There is a particular kind of silence that follows the end of a relationship with a super empath. Not the silence of peace, not the silence of resolution. It is the silence of someone standing in the ruins of something they themselves destroyed, slowly realizing that what they burned down cannot be rebuilt. The narcissist knows this silence. They live inside it. And no matter how many new people they pull close, no matter how many fresh sources of admiration they surround themselves with, that silence follows them everywhere they go. Because what they lost was not just a person. What they lost was the only mirror that ever showed them something real. Most people who study narcissism approach it from the outside. They talk about what the narcissist does to others, the manipulation, the gaslighting, the cycles of idealization and discard. And all of that is true. All of that is real, and it matters deeply. But today, we are going inside. We are going to look at what happens inside the narcissist's mind, inside their psychology after they betray a super empath. Not because they deserve sympathy, but because understanding their collapse is the final piece of the puzzle that the super empath needs to fully heal and fully move on. When you understand why the narcissist cannot recover, you stop waiting for them to. You stop looking over your shoulder, you stop wondering if they are okay, and you finally completely let go. So let us begin with the question that most people never stop to ask. What was the super empath actually giving the narcissist that no one else could? The narcissist runs on what psychologists call narcissistic supply, external validation, attention, proof from the outside world that they are special, that they matter, that they exist. Without this supply, they do not simply feel bad, they unravel. Their sense of self is so thin, so manufactured, that without constant reinforcement from others, it begins to dissolve. This is why they never stop performing. This is why every room they enter becomes a stage. They are not arrogant because they think too highly of themselves. They are arrogant because they feel nothing about themselves at all. And they need you to feel something for them so they can borrow it. But here's what most people miss. Not all supply is the same. There is a hierarchy to it. There is a difference between cheap supply and rare supply. And most people in the narcissist's life give them the cheap kind. Surface-level admiration, reactions to the performance, applause for the mask. The narcissist consumes it quickly and needs more because it never actually satisfies anything. It is like trying to quench thirst with salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. Then the super empath enters the picture, and everything changes. The super empath does not fall for the performance. Not entirely. They see the performance, yes, but they also see through it. And this is what makes them categorically different from everyone else the narcissist has ever encountered. The super empath has a perception that borders on the supernatural. They can feel the wound underneath the grandiosity. They can sense the terrified child hiding beneath the controlled, domineering adult. They can detect the profound shame buried under the polished surface. And instead of running, which is what a healthy response would eventually demand, they stay. They offer something to the narcissist that no one has ever offered before. They offer to see the real person and love them anyway. For the narcissist, this is not just supply, this is resurrection. Think about what it means to be someone who has spent their entire life making sure no one ever truly sees them. Every relationship the narcissist has ever had has been carefully controlled, carefully managed, kept at exactly the right distance where people can admire the image but cannot penetrate the armor. And then here comes this person, this extraordinary, deeply perceptive human being who sees straight through every layer of defense. And instead of weaponizing what they see, instead of running, instead of being repelled, they draw closer. They offer warmth. They offer understanding. They offer the thing the narcissist has been starving for since childhood without ever being able to name it. They offer to be known and to still be chosen. That is not supply. That is resurrection. The silence begins, and this time, nothing fills it. There's a concept in psychology called object constancy. It refers to the ability to maintain a stable, consistent sense of someone, to hold on to the full picture of who they are, their goodness, their love, their value, even when you are angry at them, even when they're not in the room, even when things are difficult. Most people develop this capacity in early childhood. It is the reason a securely attached person can have a fight with someone they love and not conclude that the relationship is over. It is the reason they can miss someone without becoming frantic. It is the reason they can trust that love persists even through distance and conflict. The narcissist never developed this, not fully, not in any reliable way. And this is not a moral failing. It is a developmental wound, the result of early environments where love was conditional, inconsistent, or weaponized, where the people who were supposed to be safe were also the people who were dangerous, where attachment itself became something to fear rather than something to rest in. The narcissist learned early that people disappear, that love evaporates, that the only way to survive is to control everything and feel nothing. This is the foundation beneath everything they do. This is the bedrock of the pathology. Now imagine what happens when someone with this wound, someone who has never been able to trust that love is stable, someone who has built an entire fortress around their inability to believe they are genuinely lovable, suddenly encounters a super empath.